With COVID being around us for more than 7 months, we look at the stories in the Parsha a bit different. Here is maybe a funny example for a very known story in the beginning of this week's Parsha, Parshat Vayera. The Parsha begins with Abraham sitting in the entrance of his tent. He's just after the Brit Milah, he's not feeling well, it's hot, and he's waiting for guests. People aren't walking by. He's looking for guests. All of a sudden, he sees those 3 people. Afterwards, we learn that they were angels. And he runs to them and he invites them to eat by his house. He gives them water to wash their hands and legs. And they sit under a tree. Why don't they eat inside the house? Why do they have to wash their hands and legs beforehand? Well, in a COVID perspective, it's quite simple. You can't eat without washing your hands. You have germs on your hands. There's a virus. You can't eat inside the house. There's social distancing. You have to eat outside underneath the tree in a shady place. But assuming that's not the reason for Abraham, so why doesn't he bring them inside the house? And it could be that there wasn't COVID, obviously, but there were other reasons that prevented Abraham from bringing them inside the house. They prevented Abraham from doing the mitzvah of Hachnasat Oruchim. It was hot. It was terribly hot. You need the air. And when we have things that prevent us from doing things, we have 2 options of how to behave. The first option is, well, if this is a situation, I'll just take it, bend down for a few days, a few weeks, a few years, and when things change, I will be myself. I'll take my values out. And Abraham's way is, well, if the situation isn't as I wish it should be, I'll find a way to work even in this special time. Even when it's hot, Abraham says, I'll try to look for people. Even if it's people with idols that Abraham maybe doesn't want to bring them inside his house, he'll say, I will find a way. I'm flexible enough to find a way how to host them, although all of the circumstances around us. And this is a great lesson for life from the beginning of our nation. Someone who's strong in his belief, in his faith, in his values, like Avraham Avinu, who's called Eitan, the strong. He can be flexible to find ways how to bring his values, although things change. Someone who isn't strong will say, well, I can't work now, I have to wait. Abraham teaches us, be strong like me, have a great faith, know your values, and then you can be flexible. If something doesn't work out, find a way to make it out, because we are strong. With this, we end with a Shabbat Shalom. We should find a way to be flexible, to bring out our love to each other, although the distancing, bring out our community, our love to Torah, our love to the land, and hope that actually one day we'll be able to do it without any need of social distancing. Shabbat Shalom.